Hi, I'm Chris Ippolito, and welcome to the Get Coached podcast, where I'm documenting my journey from employee to entrepreneur while featuring the coaches that are helping me along the way. Each episode, these coaches provide actionable advice to help me and you, the audience, find more success as entrepreneurs. I invite you to join the journey so we can go and grow together. Welcome to another episode of the Get Coached podcast. This is a bonus episode, and it's a little different. I'm not actually interviewing anybody because I was unsuccessful in getting that person on the show. The guest I was hoping to get was Russell Brunson. I'd consider Russell as a digital mentor of mine when it comes to marketing and digital marketing. And about a month and a half ago, I applied to be able to have him on the show as a guest while he was doing a podcast tour to promote his most recent book, Traffic Secrets. I was not successful in that. However, as an alternative, what his company ended up offering was 2 chapters from his audiobook, which were read by himself by Russell Brunson. So what this episode is going to be are the highlights of the 2 different chapters, some of my favorite sections. Some of it gives background on Russell, and other parts tease out some of the amazing lessons in just those 2 chapters, let alone what's going to be in the entire book. If you'd like to get both the complete chapters, head over to getcoachedpodcast.com/traffic secrets bonus, which you'll find that link in the show notes. And while you're there, you'll be able to grab the 2 whole chapters that were featured in this episode, a PDF that goes with the entire audiobook, and transcriptions of both chapters. So without further ado, I'm going to have Russell share his story of where he came from and his journey with ClickFunnels and how he got to be where he is today.
On September 23rd, 2014, Todd Dickerson, Dylan Jones, and I launched a new software company that we naively believed would change the world. The goal was to create a product that would free all entrepreneurs and give them the ability to get their messages out to the market faster and easier than ever before, so they could change the lives of the customers that they were called to serve. The company we launched was called ClickFunnels. A few short months after we launched ClickFunnels, I released a book that I had been working on for almost a decade. I was a first-time author, and because my book was about sales funnels, something that was extremely exciting to me, but pretty boring to most others, I was nervous about how people would respond to it. That book was called .com Secrets, and little did I know that that book would become the playbook for how people build sales funnels online, and was the key to the initial growth of our company. When people understood how they could use funnels to grow their companies, well, they started to use funnels to grow their companies. A few of the core concepts that I first revealed in .com Secrets were the secret of the value ladder and how you can use it to provide more value to your customers and make more money from every customer in the process. How to attract your dream customers that you want to work with and repel the types of customers that you don't want to work with so you only spend time serving the people that you enjoy being around. The exact funnels and sales scripts you can use to convert website and funnel visitors into customers and move them through your value ladder so you can serve them at your highest level, and a whole bunch more. As Garrett J. White told me after reading the book and applying it to his company, I already had the fire, but you gave me the framework I needed to grow. Over the next 2 years, that book became the underground playbook used by over 100,000 marketers to build their sales funnels online. But as ClickFunnels grew, I started to see a big division between those who were making money with their funnels and those who made funnels but weren't making any money. People had mastered the funnel structures and frameworks because of .com Secrets, and they could quickly build those funnels inside of ClickFunnels, but some people weren't making any money because they lacked the basic understanding of how to convert their funnel visitors into customers. They didn't understand the fundamentals of persuasion, storytelling, building a tribe, becoming a leader, and communicating with the people who entered into their funnels. And so I began my second book with the goal of helping readers to learn and master the persuasion secrets that are necessary to convert people at each stage of their funnel. While .com Secrets was the science of funnel building, Expert Secrets became the art behind successful funnels, helping people to move through your funnels and become your dream customers. That brings us to this book, the 3rd and final volume in the trilogy, Traffic Secrets. Traffic is the fuel for every successful business. It is the people who are coming into your funnels. The more people you can get in front of, the bigger impact you and your company can have, which in turn usually creates more money for your company. As we watch members of ClickFunnels growing their companies with funnels, using the structure from .com Secrets and the persuasion skills they learn from Expert Secrets, Many people were still struggling because they didn't know how to get consistent traffic or people into their funnels. On the flip side, those who were getting traffic from Facebook or Google were nervous that if either of those sources dried up, they could lose their companies overnight. Traffic Secrets approaches traffic from a completely different direction than anyone has ever discussed before, less from the tactical fly-by-night operations and more from the strategic long-term model that will ensure a consistent flow of people into your funnels. The strategies inside this book are evergreen and will never change as long as there are humans on this planet to sell to. Each book in the Secrets Trilogy was written as a standalone playbook, but mastering the skills from all three books is essential for your long-term growth of your company. Because of that, each book refers to and ties in important concepts from the others. If you're interested in the most up-to-date information, I invite you to go to marketingsecrets.com to listen in on my podcast, Marketing Secrets. It's published twice a week and covers everything we're learning and discovering in real time. I share new secrets every week for free that build upon the evergreen topics and frameworks that you're mastering in these books. I hope that you can use this trilogy of books to change the lives of the customers you've been called to serve. Everything written in these three books is evergreen and focuses on concepts that have worked yesterday, are working today, and will continue to work tomorrow and forever.
In this next story that Russell shares, he's highlighting why it's important to understand the principles of marketing and how to acquire clients, because you never know when the tool or platform that is popular is overnight going to change, which then is going to change the way you drive business. And if that's the case and you're not prepared, you don't know how to shift and pivot and apply principles to be able to continuously drive traffic to your business, you're going to suffer. And so this is a great story highlighting that lesson.
There's a storm coming. April 27, 2018 was the day that my kids and I looked forward to for a long time. It was the opening night of the movie Avengers: Infinity War. I've been a superhero fan ever since the first Iron Man movie came out, but not long enough to know the entire history from the original comic books, so everything that was happening in the movies was a huge surprise to me. This was the 19th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and all of the prior movies had culminated into this epic standoff between Thanos and the Avengers. In the movie, you see Thanos as the ultimate bad guy, but he actually thinks he's doing good. He's concerned that the universe is overpopulated and he believes that it's his mission to save it. His goal is to gather all the Infinity Stones, put them into his gauntlet like a big glove, and then when he snaps his fingers, restore balance to the universe by killing half of the population. The movie ended, spoiler alert, with a huge cliffhanger after Thanos collected all the Infinity Stones and snapped his fingers. In an instant, half of the people in the universe disappeared. The next day after watching the movie, I was talking to my friend and fellow online marketer, Peng Joon, about the movie, and he said something that sparked an idea. That idea later became an event and since has resulted in me writing this book. Talking about the founder of Facebook, Peng Joon said, "Do you ever feel that Mark Zuckerberg is like Thanos, and his whole goal is to wipe out half of the entrepreneurs who are advertising on Facebook? He could literally snap his fingers and half the online entrepreneurs would lose their businesses overnight." That statement quickly got my mind racing back to 2003, the year I bought my very first Google ad. I had just purchased a book from Chris Carpenter called Google Cash. It showed me how easy it was to set up Google ads and drive them to any website you wanted. It was simple arbitrage. I would spend 25 cents to get someone to click on my ad, and they would go to my website, and I would hopefully make $2 to $3 in sales for each click I received. At first, it seemed too good to be true, but I decided to set up my first ad in Google selling a DVD on how to make potato guns. When someone would search for potato guns or spud guns in Google, my ad would show up. If they click on my ad, charging me 25 cents, they would end up on my website, howtomakapotato.gun.com. A percentage of the people who landed on this page would then buy the DVD, and I became an instant .com thousandaire. I wasn't quite a millionaire yet, but if everything kept working the way it was in those early days, I would have been in just a few short months. But then it happened. People called it the Google slap, but for me it looked like it was the end of my online career. My cost went from 25 cents a click to $3 per click or more. Instantly, half of the online entrepreneurs who were buying ads on Google, including myself, lost their businesses overnight. Most of the people I knew at the time who were making a killing on Google never recovered from the first Google slap. Most of us were confused about why Google would charge 10 times the price of our ads overnight. Soon though, after the dust settled, it started to make sense. Google only wanted the big brands, the companies who could spend millions of dollars a month in ads, not the small guys like me who were just spending a few $1,000s a month. The small entrepreneurs like myself only made up a tiny percentage of their overall revenue, and we were likely the ones who caused 90% or more of their headaches. They didn't care about us. They only cared about the really big advertisers. And what started as the best way for the little guy to have success quickly disappeared when Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the founders of Google, decided to give us small entrepreneurs the slap. In .com Secrets, I shared the way that I saved myself and my tiny little company from this Google slap was by learning how to use funnels. I changed my little potato gun website into a funnel where I could make more money from each visitor who clicked on my ads. Google's costs didn't go down, so I found a way to pay for those costs. I would spend the $3 per click that Google wanted to charge me, but then I would make $5 to $6 from everyone who came into my funnel. That strategy is outside the context of this book, but I write about it extensively in both .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. After that initial Google slap, the entrepreneurs who survived started looking for other ways to save their companies. Some turned to email marketing and others turned to paid ads on blogs and websites, but the majority of marketers started getting the bulk of their traffic from Google's free search platform. We all started to learn how to play the game. We'd get ranked really high for the core keywords that we used to pay Google for, and traffic started coming back into our funnels for free. Again, this seemed like it had to be too good to be true, but for years this was the secret. Then one day, just like before, Google decided it was time to change things up once again. The next few years were known for dozens of new Google slaps that affected people who were ranking high in the free search results. Each morning we would wake up hoping and praying that we were still ranking for the keywords we'd worked so hard to earn. But we were at Google's mercy. Our future was outside of our own control. Each slap would take out another huge percentage of entrepreneurs. Soon they started giving each of these slaps cute little names like Panda and Penguin and Hummingbird. But each new slap meant that a new group of entrepreneurs had to wake up to the reality that their companies had dried up overnight. They had lost all their traffic, and because traffic equaled customers, they had no business. The decade from the early 2000s to 2010 was a constant fight for most entrepreneurs to stay alive. Then in 2007, the dawn of a new era of online advertising started when Mark Zuckerberg introduced his new Facebook ads platform. Just as Google did when they first opened up their platform, Facebook made it easy and affordable for entrepreneurs to buy ads. The costs were low and arbitrage was simple. Facebook's goal was adoption, to get as many people as possible and as fast as possible to use their ads service. And that's exactly what happened. For people like me, it was like the good old days of Google where I could spend 25 cents in ads and make $2 to $3 back for each click. Many of the entrepreneurs who I'm now coach started their companies around this time and have leveraged Facebook to grow their companies quickly. But for the marketers who have been around long enough to remember the earlier bloodbaths that Google and other platforms have put us through, the pattern of Facebook is almost identically matched what Google did when it started. Step number 1, the adoption. Make the barrier of entry easy to get everyone in and using the platform. Step number 2, the price hike. Slowly raise the prices to squeeze out the margins, killing off any entrepreneur who doesn't understand how to use funnels. And step number 3, the slap. Kill off the 50% of advertisers who cause 90% of their headaches. If you spend less than $1 million per month on ads, you're considered a small advertiser. You only make up a tiny percentage of their revenue, yet you're 100 times harder to support than a big brand who cares a lot less about ROI and more about just seeing their brand everywhere. That day after the movie, Payne Jr. and I joked that instead of a Google slap, we were going to see a Zuckerberg Thanos, we've now nicknamed him Zanos, snap, where 50% of all entrepreneurs' businesses would disappear overnight. If you rely 100% on Facebook for your traffic, then this is your warning that a storm is coming. You should implement everything you read in this book so that you can protect your company and thrive during that storm. On the other hand, if the Zanos snap has already happened and you woke up one morning to a dead or quickly dying business, then this book is your answer on how to save your company and get it to thrive again. Over the past decade and a half that I've been playing this game, I've survived and even thrived during dozens of Google slaps, the death of email marketing, algorithm changes, the rise and fall of tons of social media networks, and the fragmentation of online media. The question begs to be asked, why did we survive when so many other companies have failed? 2 reasons we survived when others failed. First, we understand how to use funnels. With funnels, we can make 5 to 10 times as much money for each visitor who clicks on our ads, so we survive and thrive when costs go up. Second, we have mastered the strategy, not just the tactics, behind getting traffic. And these strategies work on all advertising platforms in the past, the present, and the future. If you master these strategies, then no slap or snap can affect the lifeblood of your company. There will be another storm soon, just like there was with Google. It's happened time and time again, and we know that the greatest predictor of the future is the past. This storm is headed our way, and thousands of entrepreneurs are unaware. I feel like I have a moral responsibility to 100,000 plus members of our ClickFunnels community, and to the million plus entrepreneurs who follow me, and to anyone else who will listen to prepare them for this storm. Those who master these strategies will absorb the traffic, customers, and sales of those who are not prepared. Master these principles, and you and your company will thrive.
As you might imagine, writing a book on the subject of how to generate traffic could be a bit of a challenge. Right now, 2 of the most popular ways to drive traffic online are Facebook and Google. Neither one of them has been around that long and could one day be surpassed by something else. So, how do you write a book on generating traffic that is going to be evergreen and will be relevant no matter when you read it? Russell shares what his greatest fear was about that and why he went the direction that he did.
My biggest fear when I decided to take on writing this book was figuring out how to create a book about traffic that was evergreen. After all, how do you teach concepts that will last forever on a topic that changes almost daily? Every book that I've read about traffic in the past 10 years has focused on trendy tactics, which usually become irrelevant within months of being published. Oftentimes, they become obsolete before they even get to print. The tactics behind how to get somebody to click on an ad and come to your website literally changes daily. In fact, I know people whose full-time jobs are solely dedicated to keeping up to speed with the changes that Facebook makes to its algorithms and ads manager. If I were to try to give you the latest tactic or hack that works today, by the time you read this paragraph, it'll likely be wildly out of date. How many of us would have known 5 or 6 years ago that Instagram would be the powerhouse it is today? Who could have foreseen that messenger bots would be a really cool thing and then be almost dead in the water for a few months because of Facebook's legal troubles, and then shortly thereafter come back to life? What social platforms and technologies are still waiting to be discovered that we haven't even yet conceived? I then started thinking about the wake of the dead businesses I've seen in the past 15 years. So many entrepreneurs found temporary success because they figured out one way to get traffic or they mastered one tactic, for example, Google Ads or SEO, but then in one quick slap, they lost everything. I started thinking about why I've been able to not just survive during each of the slaps, but actually thrive. The more I thought about why we've done so well despite the constant changes, the more I realized I didn't learn traffic the way that most other entrepreneurs learn traffic. Normally, most people learn how to get traffic in the following manner. A new website will become popular and quickly grow to a big user base where entrepreneurs will see an opportunity where they can buy or earn traffic on this new platform, for example, Twitter or Facebook. A group of early adopters start using it and they figure out the tricks to leverage the platform to get traffic. For the next few months or years, they use these concepts to mine out tons of traffic at very low costs. Eventually, more people find out about it and start using these channels. With more demand for this new traffic, the supply goes down, and the platform starts charging more money for each click. An entrepreneur may see the opportunity that this new tactic has created and try to capitalize on it by teaching others how to do it. After learning how to exploit this new traffic, tens of thousands of new people start using the platform. Demand goes up, supply goes down, and the price quickly increases. Others see the success of this new course teaching this new tactic and they want in. A few dozen copycat courses come out, and now there's a small army of people selling courses on how to leverage this new type of traffic. Demand goes up, supply goes down, and the price keeps going up. Somewhere in this process, you or the marketing person on your team sees the ad for the course, so you buy it, you study it, and you start leveraging this new loophole. How much you are paying for these ads will depend on how early you got in, which also determines how much success you'll have when using this tactic. Eventually, the costs will get high enough that most businesses will no longer be able to profitably use these tactics. Those who understand funnels will last much longer because they will make more money from each visitor who clicks on their ads, but this tactic will soon become obsolete. This process is how most people learn to get traffic to their websites and into their funnels, and that's where the problem comes from. How are you supposed to build your foundation for your company on a slippery slope like that? The reason why I am here today is because I started playing this game 15 years ago. There weren't any traffic courses teaching the latest tactics. The people I studied with didn't have the internet when they were growing their companies. The people I learned from were some of the old school direct response marketing greats like Dan Kennedy, Bill Glazer, Gary Halbert, Jay Abraham, Joe Sugarman, Chet Holmes, Fred Katona, Don Lepre, Eugene Schwartz, David Ogilvy, and Robert Collier. These guys didn't have the luxury of Facebook or Google. They learned the strategies of driving traffic before there even was an internet. Instead, they drove traffic with direct mail, radio ads, TV, and newspapers. These direct response marketers forced me to look at marketing and sales in a completely different way than people do today. They trained me on the core strategies of what makes a direct mail campaign work, how to get radio, magazine, or classified ads to profitably drive customers to you. The strategies I mastered during a decade of studying direct response marketing gave me a very different lens, which has given my company the ability to be on the front of the new trends, master the emerging tactics before most people even know they exist, see opportunities that are invisible to most everyone else, and laugh every time there's a Google slap or a Zanos snap. Moving forward, you have to understand that traffic is people, and people are extremely predictable. The core strategies that I'm going to teach you will outlast and supersede any particular platform so that you can apply them anywhere.
There are a lot of professions that have to go to school for up to 8 years before they can be allowed to practice. Russell shares the story of a friend who is a chiropractor and who did go to school for 8 years. And when he was done, he realized that he had never been taught how to grow his chiropractic business.
They could lock up an entrepreneur for 8 years to teach them a skill, but not even spend 10 minutes showing them how to market that skill. To me, it's the biggest problem with our education system, and it's one of the biggest issues that plague new entrepreneurs in any market. They believe that if they build a great product or create an amazing company, the customers will automatically follow. I see entrepreneurs who will invest every last penny they have to create the products and services they think will change the world without ever considering who their dream customers are or how they're going to reach them. They'll happily invest in coaching, product creation, design, education, almost everything. But when you tell them to buy ads on Facebook or Google, they freeze. Or when you tell them they're going to have to put in their own time and sweat equity to get visitors organically, they often think that they're above it. Some think, my product is so good, I don't need to pay for traffic. Still, others believe that they're entitled to customers because they feel they built a better product than their competitors. So they wait, all the while thinking, if I built it, why aren't they coming? Yet after coaching hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs, I can tell you that people who put all their focus on creating something amazing, instead of also focusing on getting people to actually see what they created, are the people that fail. The biggest problem they have is getting their future customers to discover that they even exist. Every year, tens of thousands of businesses start and fail because the entrepreneurs don't understand this one essential skill, the art and science of getting traffic or people to find you. And that is a tragedy. I feel like I've been called and placed on this earth with a mission to help entrepreneurs to get their messages out to the world about their products and their services. I strongly believe that entrepreneurs are the only people on earth who can actually change the world. It won't happen in government, and I don't think it's going to happen in schools. It'll happen because of entrepreneurs like you who are willing to risk everything to try to make that dream become a reality. For all the entrepreneurs who fail in their first year of business, it's a tragedy when that one thing that they risked everything for never gets to see the light of day. Waiting for people to come to you is not a strategy, but understanding exactly who your dream customer is, discovering where they're congregating, and throwing out hooks that will grab their attention to pull them into your funnels where you can tell them a story and make them an offer is the strategy. That's the big secret.
The first step in the entire process of finding and driving traffic to your business is to become obsessed with your dream customers. Russell goes into why that's important and why companies that obsess over their dream customers will ultimately outlast the companies that obsess over their product and services.
Most entrepreneurs mistakenly think that their business is about them, but it's not. On the contrary, your business is about your customer. If you want customers or traffic to come into your funnels, then you have to be able to find them online. And if you want to find them online, then you have to start to understand them at a much deeper level. Becoming obsessed with your dream customers. The first step in this process is to become obsessed with your dream customers. Companies that become obsessed with their products will eventually fail. As we've grown ClickFunnels, I've seen this happen time and time again. Every company we've competed against, even though some of them had hundreds of millions of dollars in funding behind them, eventually lost to us because they were busy focusing on their products while we became obsessed with our customers. What do I mean when I say obsessed? Well, being obsessed with your customer means understanding them just as well, if not better, than they understand themselves. For many, this is the most difficult part of the process, even though you may have actually been your dream customer not too long ago. Often just remembering how you felt when you were trying to solve the very problem that you're now solving for people is usually hard. I was recently talking to my friend Nicholas Bayerly about the fact that most businesses are created from a problem that an entrepreneur had, and their product or service was a result of them figuring out the solution to that problem. Our mess becomes our message, Nicholas said. When you're frustrated about a problem you're having, you look for a solution. If you're not able to find the solution that gives you the results that you want, then you'll likely go on a journey to find or create your own solution. In that way, your problem becomes your business. In other words, your mess becomes your message. If that's true, then you need to look back in time to find the point where you were struggling with the same problem that your dream customer has now. Then you need to remember what you were feeling when you were in that pain.
Something that Russell talks about in one of his previous books is what he refers to as the 3 core markets, which are health, wealth, and relationships. He explains why every product and service is fulfilling one of these 3 categories for your dream customer, and the importance of knowing which category your business is working within.
In Expert Secrets, I introduced the concept of the 3 core markets or the 3 core desires. The 3 desires, in no particular order, are health, wealth, and relationships. When people purchase any product from anyone, they're hoping to get a certain result in one of those 3 areas of their lives. So the first question you need to answer is this: Which of these three desires is my future dream customer trying to receive when they buy my product or service? This is the very first layer to getting inside the minds of your dream customer, and for most people, the answer is pretty simple. However, sometimes people get stuck in this question for one of two reasons. Reason number one, my product fits into more than one of these desires. Many products can be marketed towards getting a result in more than one of these desires, but your marketing message can only focus on one of them. Anytime you try to get your potential customer to believe in two things, your conversions will usually cut in half, most times by 90% or more. To target two different desires, you need two different ads leading to two different funnels. Only focus on one desire with each message you put into the market. Reason number two, my product doesn't fit into any of the desires. This false belief was best resolved at one of our recent events where someone told one of my head coaches, Steve J. Larson, this exact same thing. Steve responded by telling the story of Gillette razors and asking which desire a razor fulfilled. At first, everyone was quiet, and then a few people started guessing. Health, another mumbled, or maybe, Steve then played one of the Gillette ads. In it, you see how the story develops. First, a man is shown shaving. After the shave, a beautiful woman gets closer to him, and then the two go out for the night on the town. Finally, the ad shows the two together back at home in their room. After showing the ad, Steve asked the question again a little differently. What desire was this marketing message created for? Instantly, everyone responded, relationships. Most products can fit into multiple categories, even if they may look like they don't fit into any category at all. But no matter what, the key is that your marketing message can and must be focused on only one of the three core desires. I want you to take a few minutes and decide which of the three core markets or desires your product or service currently fits into.
Russell gives us a history lesson on traffic and how businesses started using interruption marketing to drive more traffic to their business. I feel like this is a good story that reinforces the idea that learning the principles of marketing is important because technologies, tactics, and tools will always be changing.
The searcher and the scroller. To really understand how to use the conversations that are going on inside the minds of your dream customers, we need to go back in time a few hundred years ago before the internet, before TV, and before radio to where traffic began. Until the early 1800s, people mainly obtained products based on what they needed. They would be in some type of pain, and they would go search for a solution to solve it. It started with food. Our ancestors had a desire for health, food, so they would search for food, kill it, and bring it home. In more modern times, we have stores. When you need food or something else in your home, you would go to the local store, search for what you need, and buy it. In 1886, the Yellow Pages directory was created, and it was awesome for consumers because you could find exactly what you needed, and business owners had the luxury of people simply showing up, looking for what they had to sell. It seemed like the perfect solution, except for one thing. As a business owner, if you wanted to make more money or grow your company, you were not in control. You had to wait for people to have a need in order for them to come and to find you. But then, in 1927, the television was invented, and just 15 short years later, on July 1st, 1942, during the Brooklyn Dodgers-Philadelphia Phillies game in Ebbets Field, the first ever TV commercial aired. At the time, there were over 4,000 televisions in New York, and on that day, while families gathered around to watch the big game on NBC, it was interrupted by the first ever TV commercial. That ad, which was just 9 seconds long and cost only $9, featured a map of America with a Bulova watch clock face in the middle. At the end of the ad, a voice announced, "America runs on Bulova time." And with those 9 seconds, the shift from search advertising to interruption advertising had officially begun. People watching TV that night were not searching for a new watch, but as they saw the commercial and the pictures of the watch, it placed a seed of desire in their hearts and their minds. They didn't need this watch, but they wanted it. This TV commercial gave business owners a window where they could grab their potential customers' attention long enough to plant a seed of desire and show the perceived value of what they were selling. No longer would people only buy when they needed something. Now advertisers had the ability to create desire and sell people stuff that they wanted. This interruption advertising started happening in other types of media such as radio, newspapers, and direct mail. The process was simple. Get a captive audience, entertain or educate them, and then, when they have their full attention, interrupt them with your message. You can then grab their attention and create a desire for the product or service that you are selling. Nowadays, this type of interruption advertising happens every day around you, but I'm guessing you didn't realize how profound of an impact those advertisements actually made on your buying decisions.
In the other chapter that was provided to me, Russell gets into the strategies with how to grow Instagram in particular, but some of the lessons he shares, like this one, apply to all the social platforms. And it's the first step he recommends you take when looking to grow an audience on any social media?
The first step, as you'll soon see with every platform, is to identify the Dream 100 that have already congregated your dream customers on the platform that you're starting on. Follow each of them and set up a plan to spend a few minutes each day viewing all of their stories, posts, and ads. This will help you to identify the patterns that are making these people successful. Each day, I spend 3 to 5 minutes viewing my Dream 100's posts, looking for what pictures hook me and make me want to read the caption, what captions make me want to take actions. At the same time, I like the post for my Dream 100. I comment on at least 10 of my Dream 100's posts each day, digging my well. I also spend 5 minutes watching Instagram stories for my Dream 100, looking for cool ideas on ways they're engaging people, checking out where their swipe ups are pushing me to, messaging or DMing on at least 10 of their videos, digging my well, and looking for the swipe up ads that are shown to me and funnel hacking them, swiping up on them. Remember, you're now a producer of social media, not a consumer. Don't get caught in the trap of following tons of interesting people who will distract you and waste your time. Follow only those people who are already successfully serving the market that you want to serve so that you can understand what messages they're sharing. Then you can figure out your own unique angles inside of that ecosystem and unfriend and unfollow everyone else.
Even someone like Russell Brunson struggles. When he first got onto Instagram, he didn't really know what he was doing. And then he came across what's called the JK5 method framework, which he's been applying since and has helped him grow his presence on Instagram and to leverage it as a valuable source of traffic.
When I started using Instagram, I had no clue what types of pictures I should post. If you scroll back to my profile to the very first pictures, you'll probably get a good laugh seeing all of the random stuff I posted. As a result, I had low engagement because I had no idea what I was doing. Shortly afterwards, I heard Jenna Kutcher give a presentation on her JK5 method framework. I started using it a few years ago and I still use it to this day because it makes posting to my profile simple and fun. Using the JK5 method will help you to create connection beyond just what you're selling, and to do that, you'll need to post more than just your work. To implement the JK5 method, you first need to create 5 main categories of things that you're passionate about. This will help to give you a recognizable brand, and as you post images, you'll simply rotate through these categories so that your followers get a good understanding of who you are beyond what you sell. For Jenna, her 5 categories are marriage, body positivity, photography, fashion, and travel. If you scroll through her profile, you'll notice that she cycles through these categories. As I created my categories, I thought about things that were most important to me that I wanted to share with the world. The categories that I came up with for my brand were family, funnels, faith, entrepreneurship, and personal development. Jenna explained why the JK5 method helps to grow your brand and increase your audience. When you adopt this method, you not only create a versatile, well-rounded, and connected brand, but you'll also create an interesting feed that earns you the ability to sell. No 2 categories live next to each other on the grid, giving you extra visual element, but also giving people a way to find a way to connect with you, even if they currently aren't on the market for what you're selling. Oftentimes, someone will follow you for just one of the categories while they get to know you, like you, and trust you, priming them to become a paying client in the future. It's important we talk about the overall vibe of your grid. Essentially, your grid is what users see when they scroll down and see multiple images all lined up in rows of 3. It's easy to get obsessive about your overall grid aesthetics, but what I love about the JK5 is that it gives people an overarching view of your brand when they click to see a full profile. If you truly follow the 5-category rotation, viewers will see more than just what you sell, but be able to see if they can connect to your account enough to follow you. When someone lands on your page, they have about 10 seconds to make a decision on whether or not they want to follow you. And so we want this overall grid to create a connection right off the bat. When you're posting on your profile, never post in real time. Your post should be thought out and strategic. Real-time posting is for Instagram stories. To curate photos for your profile, most phones will allow you to set up albums for your pictures. I suggest creating a new album for each of the 5 categories in your JK5. Then look back through your camera roll and move all of the existing pictures you've taken in the past into these albums. Chances are this exercise alone will give you a few months worth of the perfect images that you could start using today. Moving forward, when you take new pictures with your phone, always add them into these albums. Each stage you're looking for new pictures to post, go into the album on your phone and quickly grab the perfect picture. On top of pictures, Instagram also allows you to post videos on your profile that are under 60 seconds. So as you capture short videos that fit into your JK5, save them on your album as well. Before posting any picture or video though, I highly recommend using Jenna's ABCDQ test to see if it's on brand and therefore worthy of your profile. Here's the test. A. Aesthetics. Does it visually show something that fits the personality of my brand? B, brand. Is it aligned with my dream client or something they will engage with? C, consistent. Is it consistent in terms of the color or quality to fit within my overall feed? D, diversity. Is this something different than my last post? Does it create recognition beyond what I sell? Q, quality. Is this up to the quality I want my clients and followers to expect? If this stood alone, would it fit my brand?
One final word from me before we wrap things up. These 2 chapters of the Traffic Secrets book were full of great advice, and I wanted to share parts that I felt would give you a great idea of what you could expect from the rest of the book. If you enjoyed what you heard and want more, remember to head over to getcoachedpodcast.com/traffic secrets bonus, where you'll be able to download the 2 complete audiobook chapters, a PDF that shows all the images from the book, and I personally added transcriptions of the 2 chapters so that you could follow along or read at your leisure. And that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening to the Get Coached podcast. If you're looking for more information, you can head over to our website, which is getcoachedpodcast.com. You'll find the show notes for this and every other episode there. And if getting actionable advice every week from professional coaches is something you want more of, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.